10 Crazy Facts About the U.S. Army. From enormous robots to antique submarines. The Army is one of the oldest and longest-lasting institutions in America. It's been around for 243 years, and with the United States spending more on the military than the next 8 highest-spending countries combined, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Here are the 10 astonishing facts about U.S. Army. Number 1. The Army is older than the country. The measure to create a unified Continental Army, to be led by George Washington, was passed by the Second Continental Congress on June 14, 1775. So, technically, the United States has had an army for a year longer than it's been a country. Number 2. George Washington chose the Army's dress colors. George Washington chose the Army's service dress colors in 1779. Though the Army has tried many color schemes over the years, in 2010 they went back to Washington's picks. Number 3. The Army has a special unit of skeptics. Graduates from Fort Leavenworth's University of Foreign Military and Cultural Studies have been trained to play devil's advocates to avoid the pitfalls of groupthink that were happening in the military. Graduates of the program are called Red Teamers. Number 4. The Army is responsible for Raybans. U.S. Army Air Corps Lieutenant General John McCready asked Bausch & Lomb to make glasses for his pilots that would block the rays of the sun and reduce their nausea and headaches, and thus, the company Rayban was formed. Number 5. The father of the military was gay. The original Army was a ragtag crew of people in need of some serious training. A Prussian officer named Baron Friedrich von Steuben was brought on to be the Army Inspector General and taught soldiers military drills, tactics, and discipline. At the time he was hired, he was fleeing France, where French clergy were demanding he receive punishment for being homosexual. Number 4. The Army mapped much of America. When the Army wasn't fighting in wars, they were out mapping the country. In fact, Army officers and non-commissioned officers made up the Lewis and Clark expedition that helped map out the uncharted territory of the American West. Number 3. The Army fired 1,400 artillery in Los Angeles. The Great Los Angeles Air Raid of 1942 had the military firing 1,400 anti-air artillery, as well as countless .50 caliber rounds at an enemy aircraft. However, it turned out that the enemy aircraft everyone had been firing at was a lost weather balloon. No doubt itchy trigger fingers created by the attack on Pearl Harbor helped fuel the overreaction. Number 2. Coca-Cola had engineers in the Army in World War II. Coca-Cola President Robert Woodruff said that any serviceman in World War II should be able to get a bottle of Coke for a nickel, anywhere in the world. So Coca-Cola created the Technical Observer Program to make it happen. There were 148 technical observers, who supervised the shipment and operation of 64 bottling plants. Technical observers had an Army officer's rank and pay, as well as uniforms with a special patch to identify them. They distributed more than 5 billion bottles of Coke to soldiers. Number 1. There have only been 5 five-star generals in the Army. The rank of 5-star general didn't exist until 1944, and it was only given to 5 men, including former President Dwight D. Eisenhower. The ranks were retired in 1981, when the last surviving 5-star general, Omar Bradley, died.